NXT Battleground has now come and went, so here is my immediate thoughts on every match. Now off the rip, the immediate reaction to NXT Battleground has been, it was okay, but they just played things too safe. And let me just remind everybody that sometimes giving the fans what they expect to happen is probably the better option than trying to do something outlandish and unexpected. With that being said, the first match of the night was the 6-woman ladder match to induct the inaugural NXT Women's North American Championship. Honestly, this match was a great opener. I love when they do ladder matches like this. Is like the chance to spark the crowd, get them excited early. And literally to take exactly what I said going back to the Game of Thrones statement, where sometimes it's better to give yourself the safer option than going into a completely wild direction. I completely disagree with that statement for this because Kalani Jordan winning was a very pleasant surprise. Obviously, I think everybody was battling over whether or not Sol Ruca would win or Lash Legend would win, maybe a shocker like Michin. I don't think any of us were really thinking Kalani Jordan was going to win this one, and I'm extremely happy she did. I think she's a very, very underutilized, talented superstar, and finally she is going to get the recognition that she deserves, and I'm very excited to see how her title reign goes. Now, it wouldn't be a ladder match unless there was a couple of memorable spots, including this one where the women came together, picked up Lash Legend like they were hoisting her through a crowd, and then just tossed her onto the ladder outside of the ring. And a performance that cannot and will not be denied was Sol Ruca putting on an absolute show in the ladder match, hitting not one but two insane soul snatchers. One of them was off the ladder. So yes, Sol Ruca is going to become the NXT Women's North American Champion at some point, just not right now. So once again, it was a really good match, and I'm very happy for Kalani Jordan who got the win. She deserved it. This was great. What a great way to start off NXT Battleground. Next match of the night was Axiom and Frazier versus the OC, and this match was great. Everyone knows. If you don't, I'll tell you. The second match on the card is one of the hardest matches to have because people are coming off the high of the first match and you're not, towards the end. So the second, third matches are typically the hardest to get the crowd excited for, and this match did. Axiom and Frazier had some unbelievable moves. The OC really had me going for a second thinking they were going to win this, and I actually wanted them to win this because I thought it would have been really cool for them to come out with AJ Styles at Clash of the Castle with the tag team titles. But no, the WWE went with the safe route of having Axiom and Frazier keep it, and that's okay. The most important thing to note for me is the fact that I knew Frazier and Axiom were really good. I wanted to see the OC show out and remind everybody just how good they are, and they did exactly that. They put on a clinic. Carl Anderson still has the best spine buster in the business. I don't care what anybody says. This match was good. I had a lot of fun with it. Next up was the match that I actually disagreed with the winner of, not in like a crazy, oh my god, I hated this kind of way, but I generally believe Shayna should have beat Lola Vice. In a match like this, an NXT Underground match, it's hard to book a loser because the loser either needs to be knocked out or submitted. So either way, you're gonna kind of look weak in the end. So Shayna Baszler getting knocked out was a tough sight for me to see, especially after witnessing how good she used to be on NXT and how poorly WWE has used her on the main roster. I thought she would get her opportunity in this match, and I feel like she should be the one we focus on with this match. Like, this should be her match, and it was unfortunate that she lost. I'm not against Lola Vice winning as much as I just wanted to see Shayna win. Shayna also then popped up and then started like swinging like she was ready to still fight, and it was very reminiscent of like an actual UFC fight where the person gets knocked out, they get up, and then they start punching because they think they're still in the fight. So that was an interesting touch, but overall, yeah, I don't think Lola Vice desperately needed to win this, but you know what? They want to push her, that's fine. Match was solid in my eyes. Next up was the triple threat for the NXT North American Championship between Wes Lee, Obafemi, and Joe Coffey. And anybody who's been watching NXT live with me in my lives, you know I recently started watching NXT again. There was a long time that I just wasn't really watching it, didn't really care. I would like keep up with the results occasionally, but let me tell you something right now. Since I started watching NXT again, Obafemi is probably my favorite superstar that I've seen. He is just unbelievably fun to watch. Wes Lee, I barely got to see him in the past. Now watching him, I see why everybody loves him so much. He's electric. And Joe Coffey did fine too. I know he had his group, Gallus, which got involved. But dude, this match cooked. This was my favorite match on the card. I thought this match was great. Obafemi is probably main roster ready yesterday. Like, he was so good, and I need to see this man against like Gunther and some main roster feuds as soon as possible. But yes, Obafemi did win. It was my favorite match on the card. Not by far, but by a decent margin. And I hope Obafemi actually goes after the NXT championship and wins it, because that would be electric. And you know me, I'm not huge with one person holding 2 titles, but this man deserves everything. Give him the world. Next up is the match that I'm generally surprised didn't main event the card. It was Roxanne Perez versus Jordynne Grace for the NXT Women's Championship. And let's be honest, yes, we all knew somehow, some way Roxanne was going to win. She needed to keep her title. I go back to the Game of Thrones comment. Everyone's like, oh man, imagine if they would have given the title to Jordynne Grace here, but then what? Then it goes to TNA, and we don't know what TNA and WWE's agreement is. I think it's just generally having superstars on both shows occasionally show up. I don't think it's like anything about title changes or anything. But overall, this match was fine. I think it could have been a little bit better seeing the 2 stars involved. And they really booked Roxanne like the dominant one here, which I was a little bit surprised about. But overall, match was good. One of the more interesting moments was Ash by Elegance, a TNA superstar formerly known as Dana Brooke to us WWE fans, came out and caused a distraction of Jordynne Grace when she stole the TNA title back. And this actually probably ended up costing Jordynne Grace because it took her eyes off the prize, kind of a thing. But yeah, it was an interesting moment. The announcers, Vic Joseph, almost called her Dana Brooke, but yeah, it was a solid match overall. And next up was the actual main event, which was the NXT Championship on the line between Trick Williams, our current champion, and newcomer, first match on the brand, Ethan Page. This match was fine. I don't want to call it great. I don't want to call it bad. This match was fine. WWE booked themselves into a bit of a corner here because you don't really want Ethan Page to lose his first match, but you don't want Trick to drop it this early. I think this was his first title defense, so that would have been really upsetting. They booked themselves into a corner, but I like having Ethan Page kind of get distracted by bothering with the ref being the reason that he lost and Trick Williams catching him off guard versus just have Ethan Page look weak and lose. Now, Ethan Page, in my opinion, really showed out the best I thought he could give, and he really showed the world exactly why he deserved to be in the main card the second he got here. He is all ego. He is obnoxious. He comes off as a really annoying guy, and you just want to root against him, and you know, we all love Trick Williams right now, so this matchup was good. I, once again, thought it could have been a little bit better. I would have flip-flopped the Jordynne Grace match along with this match and, you know, done that match as the main event, but this was a good overall match. Now, my just feeling for the last few months has been that fans are setting their expectations up way too high for every single PLE to be the greatest thing they ever witnessed, which is dumb in my opinion. If you're going to go into watching a PLE, an NXT Battleground, a Clash of the Castle, there's going to be some great moments, but at the same time, it's not SummerSlam. It's not WrestleMania. You're not going to get 4 or 5 title changes and it just be a complete, you know, overhaul of what we currently see in WWE. Matter of fact, you're probably going to get the opposite. You're going to get incredible matches with the result you're expecting. And I don't want to reference it again. Sometimes giving us what we expect is the best option. I thought this pay-per-view PLE was solid. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. I generally believe it could have had some better moments. I would have liked the 2 main events in the Roxanne match and the Trick match to be a little bit longer with a little bit better. But overall, they were good matches. There was no match that I was really against. I didn't like Shayna losing, but I really can't harp on that because Lola Vice was probably the right person to put over for WWE. So I thought Battleground was good. I thought it did the job and more. And I'm excited to see more from WWE and TNA's partnership in the future, maybe on the TNA side of things. So thank you guys for tuning into this, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.